Welcome to Topics in American Classroom English, right here on YouTube. If you're working to build stronger, more confident English skills, this channel is designed for you. Here, you'll learn through lessons inspired by real American high school classrooms, helping you understand how English is used to explain ideas, analyze topics, and think critically. Each topic, from current global issues to core academic subjects, is carefully chosen to strengthen your listening, reading, and reasoning skills in natural academic English. So take your seat, stay curious, and keep learning with us. We're here to help you grow your English one topic at a time.
Today's reading topic is free speech. Freedom of speech is often described as one of the defining features of American democracy. We hear the term often in news stories, online conversations, and classroom discussions. But hearing the phrase is not the same as understanding what it truly means. This reading will help clarify what free speech actually is. It will not treat free speech as a slogan, but as a constitutional principle. Instead of giving a single definition, the passage will build the idea step by step. As you listen, you will hear how the text explains what free speech protects, what it does not protect, and why government power is central to the discussion. By the end of this reading, you should not only recognize the term free speech, but understand why it remains one of the most complex and important rights in a constitutional democracy. This passage is written at a U.S. public high school textbook level. It is designed for students studying civics, government, or constitutional principles. As you listen, focus on how the concept of free speech is constructed. Each section adds a new condition that shapes its meaning. Listen for how the reading distinguishes between government power and private choice. Listen for how it separates offense from harm. And listen for how it explains the difference between legal protection and real-world freedom. You are not expected to memorize cases or legal terms. Instead, concentrate on identifying the core principles that define free speech. Notice how these principles connect and build upon one another. This reading will prepare you to examine real situations involving speech and expression. It provides a framework for thinking, not just a list of facts. Now, let's begin today's reading. The passage is titled, "What is Free Speech?" As you listen, follow how the idea is built step by step. Freedom of speech is often described as one of the most important rights in American society. Many people grow up hearing that it means anyone can say whatever they want. In reality, free speech is not an unlimited personal privilege. It is a constitutional principle that shapes how power, expression, and democracy work together. The foundation of free speech in the United States comes from the First Amendment to the Constitution. Rather than listing what people may say, the amendment limits government authority. It prevents the government from punishing individuals for expressing ideas, especially political ideas. It also prevents the government from forcing people to express beliefs they do not hold. At its core, free speech protects the freedom to think, criticize, and disagree without fear of government retaliation. Free speech protection extends beyond spoken or written words. Some actions communicate ideas just as clearly as speech. Wearing symbols can express political meaning. Participating in peaceful protests can express political meaning. Taking part in symbolic acts can express political meaning. When behavior is intended to send a message, It may receive the same constitutional protection as speech. Free expression is defined not by its form, but by its purpose. Although free speech is a fundamental right, it has never been unlimited. Some expression falls outside protection because it causes serious harm. This includes speech connected to fraud, defamation, or criminal activity. The law distinguishes between speech that offends and speech that injures. Discomfort and disagreement are protected. Speech that causes direct and serious harm is not. Free speech is shaped by context. The same expression may be treated differently depending on where and how it occurs. Speech in public spaces is protected more strongly than speech in limited settings, such as schools or courtrooms. The government may create reasonable rules about time, place, and manner. These rules must not target ideas or viewpoints. Their purpose is to balance expression with safety, order, and the rights of others. The First Amendment restricts the government, not private organizations. Private media companies may decide what content they carry. However, when the government pressures private institutions to silence expression, the situation changes. Indirect government influence raises serious constitutional concerns. Even protected speech can be weakened by fear. When people fear punishment or retaliation, they may remain silent. This is known as a chilling effect. A chilling effect does not require new laws. It occurs when people feel unsure whether speaking freely is safe. Free speech is not simply the ability to speak. It is a constitutional system that protects political independence and democratic discussion. It includes words and actions. It allows limits when serious harm is involved. It depends on context. It restrains government power, not private disagreement. And it requires an environment where people can speak without fear. Only then does free speech exist not just in principle, but in everyday life. That concludes today's reading. In this passage, we explored free speech not as a simple idea, but as a carefully structured constitutional protection. We saw how its meaning is shaped by government power, limits, and social conditions. As you reflect on the reading, consider how different the concept of free speech appears when examined step by step. Next, we will use these ideas to think more deeply about how free speech functions in a democratic society. Now let's move into our discussion. The purpose of this discussion is not to reach a single correct answer, but to use the ideas from the reading to think more deeply about what free speech means and how it functions in a democratic society. As you listen to each explanation, focus on how the principles from the text connect to democracy, power, and individual freedom. Then consider how these ideas help shape the way we understand free speech itself. The first question asks why free speech must protect political disagreement even when ideas are unpopular or uncomfortable. Free speech exists to support democratic decision-making. In a democracy, people must be able to question leaders, criticize policies, and express minority viewpoints without fear of punishment. If only popular opinions were protected, free speech would lose its purpose. Many major social and political changes began as unpopular ideas. Protecting disagreement allows societies to identify mistakes, challenge injustice, and respond to new evidence. The goal of free speech is not to protect comfort, it is to protect open discussion. democracy depends on the ability to hear, evaluate, and debate ideas, even when they cause discomfort. The second question asks how free speech can exist in law but weaken in daily life. A society may protect free speech legally while creating conditions that discourage people from speaking. This situation is often described as a chilling effect. When people fear investigation, social punishment, or professional consequences, they may choose silence instead of expression. In these cases, the right exists on paper, but not fully in practice. This helps us understand that constitutional rights depend not only on laws, but also on social and political environments. A climate of fear can limit speech as effectively as formal censorship. The third question asks how a democratic society should balance free expression with the need to prevent serious harm. This question addresses the central tension of free speech. Democracy requires strong protection for ideas, opinions, and criticism. At the same time, societies must protect people from speech that causes direct and serious harm. The legal system attempts to manage this tension by distinguishing between offense and injury. Offensive or unpopular ideas are generally protected. Expression that enables fraud, defamation, or criminal activity may be limited. This balance is not fixed. It evolves as societies change and as new technologies and forms of communication emerge. This discussion invites us to think critically about how freedom and responsibility must coexist in a democratic society. As we conclude this discussion, remember that free speech is not a fixed or simple concept. It is a constitutional principle that must be continuously examined as societies change. Understanding free speech means more than knowing a definition. It means recognizing how law, power, fear, and responsibility interact within a democracy. The questions we explored today are not meant to end here. They are meant to guide how we listen, evaluate ideas, and participate in public life. That ongoing process of questioning and discussion is itself a central expression of free speech.
That's it for today's text lesson. Remember, read this passage again, listen again, and keep training both your eyes and ears. Repetition is your biggest advantage. And try writing the passage out at least once. Even just one full rewrite will sharpen your understanding in a way nothing else can. Be sure to work through the questions too. They're designed to check your comprehension and push you to a higher level. If you have ideas, requests, or anything you'd like to discuss, drop a comment. And if this helped you, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps me bring you better topics and better lessons every time. I hope you achieve every goal you're working toward. Keep practicing with the listening classroom versions as well. They'll boost your improvement even more. See you in the next topic.